Hey, it's Kirk with Secret Nature. I almost didn't make this video, but I decided it's important to show you something different than I was planning on showing you. I'm still up here on the North Shore. Back behind me, right up here, is what's called Marshall Mountain. It's about 1,400 feet above Lake Superior, and I'll show you what the view looks like from up here. Now, my plan was to come up here and shoot a video and show you something that I remember being up here that's really cool, called Glacial Striations. There's all this rock down here below me, and this rock is very old. It's over 1 billion years old. Now, to the north, behind me here, is where the glaciers came from, and they were coming down this direction down here for about 2 million years, and they were about 1 mile thick, so they were crushing everything underneath. They went away about 13,000 years ago. But while they were coming, these glaciers moving over hard rock like this can cut grooves into the rocks called glacial striations. And what I remember from being up here in the past is that there are glacial striations on these rocks. At least I remember someone telling me there were. Now I'm up here looking at these, I don't quite buy it. I don't think they actually are glacial striations. And so I said, oh, I'm just not going to do this video at all. But I thought, no, let me show you what I'm seeing up here and explain why I think these are not glacial striations. And then maybe when you see things, you can kind of apply that critical eye to them and figure out why these things may or may not be what someone might tell you that they are. So let's take a look at what's underneath my feet right here. So from this view, we see this big rock outcropping, and there are these lines that seem to be carved into the rock that are all kind of going up in the same direction. And the temptation is to think, hey, these are glacial striations. They're pointing in the same direction that Lake Superior goes. Lake Superior is right there, and the shoreline goes up to the north that way. And so the temptation is to think, cool, these are lines that are from the glacier crushing over these rocks. Now that sounds all well and good, but we've got a few problems. First of all, these lines don't actually go north-south. When you're on Lake Superior, it's really tempting to think that the shore goes north, but it really doesn't. The shore points off at an angle. So really, these lines that are kind of following the shoreline are not pointing north-south. The other problem is when you really look at them carefully, they're pointing every which direction. These ones on this rock happen to be kind of going in the same direction, but look at this one right here. Right here, this is an X, kind of traveling in a couple different directions. We also see there's another line here going this way. So it's where your 3 lines all coming together. What these actually are is cracks in the rock. These rocks used to be deep underground, and there are cracks. Now there's a couple things that can happen to that crack over time. That crack can fill in with a harder material, or it can fill in with a softer material once that crack opens up. And actually right under my arm here, I can see right here, there's a crack with a light colored line that you can follow up here. That filled in with a quartz material over a very, very long time. There's another big one right here. You can see this one, and this one's actually going perpendicular to all the other ones. And so this is filled in with quartz, and the quartz is quite hard. And so as this rock has weathered away, the quartz has remained. And when you run your hands over the ones that have quartz in them, they actually are standing up. With glacial striations, what we would be planning on seeing or expect to see are grooves that have been cut into this hard rock over time. Some of these are grooves, but when you look carefully at them, they're actually just cracks that have worn away on the inside, and then some of them are cracks that are actually raised up where there's harder material. Now, glaciers did in fact take rock away from this area, but my impression is that the grooves we're seeing are probably just cracks that have worn away, maybe somewhat from the glaciers moving over them, but they're not a repetitive groove that is built up from that ice moving from north to south, because these are going in every which direction. There are deep grooves going east, west, north, south, south, southeast, whatever direction you choose. So when you look at something like this and you think about the order things had to have happened, it just doesn't line up, especially these big thick ones. If you want to think to yourself, well, maybe those cracks filled in, and then the glaciers wore away what's there. Like maybe those cracks filled in after the glaciers. Well, it's only been 13,000 years. So that's not really a whole lot of time to fill in those little cracks with material. And then also the rock next to the cracks have been worn away. So the idea that in 13,000 years you could fill those cracks and then erode away the rocks around them just makes no sense. So there's a lot of really cool cracks and lines and things in these rocks up here, but my impression is that they are far, far older than what you'd see from a glacial striation. So I can't show you what I was planning on showing you, but I think the story about why these are not glacial striations is also pretty cool. If you don't agree with me, please let me know in the comments why I'm wrong. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe. Really cool that a lot of you have subscribed and are finding out about these videos on a regular basis. So I'll see you around.